Hi guys, Toger here with a new video, and this video I'm gonna talk about BG balancing, PvP balancing at lower levels, and in general the complaints about the community about casters being very weak. Again, I think I'm going to make a lot of people mad, but they should not buff casters based on lower levels. I'm going to explain why. First and foremost, if you have played Classic, TBC or RAF, I could also say even Cataclysm, casters are always and has always been weak damage wise at lower levels. Wow, shocker, right? At level 29, if you're doing a level 29 twink, which to be honest on this server we are all twinks because we all have PvP gear, so we all have crazy HP pools. Level 29 Frost Mage is not there to do damage. No. He is there to be a disruptor, doing Frost Novas, doing Blizzards, doing Cone of Colds, doing, again, Frostbite procs. Being there to be annoying. Level 19 Mage is there to be annoying, to spam rank 1 Frostbolts and run away with a flag, for example, until the Druid takes the flag and goes away, for example. Level 39 Frost Mage is the same. It doesn't do too much damage normally, because you need a high amount of spell power to be able to do the damage that is required for the HP pools to be lower. And that's talking about not Project EPOCH, but just like in general. Like casters from the classic TBC RAF era at lower levels don't do too much damage. Except Arcane Mage, this Project EPOCH, like I don't know what they did. They made Arcane Blast way too good. But that aside, like let it go, let it be. I think I have more difficulties with like slow being the game than anything else. I think this is too strong. But like for example, this guy, I'm sure he's going to not do too much damage because he's Frost without Shatter, by the way. Yeah, he has improved counter spells, so it's cool. And they have Arcane Blast, so I guess he's playing around Arcane Blast, but he doesn't have the great talents that are like at the lower ranges. Which is fine. He's level 41, so who cares? But I'm saying, like, you cannot expect this Frost Mage or Arcane Mage, like semi-Arcane Mage, semi-Frost Mage, to deal any damage that is meaningful except like with Arcane Blast. A Warlock, Affliction Warlock, I did a twink back in the day. Level 19, level 29, and even level 39. That's why back in the day, TBC, RAF, not even Classic, right? Just like back in the day. And I always knew my role wasn't to kill people, right? My role was to disrupt people, to be the CC machine, surviving damage that I should not be surviving to. And that's it. Like being a disruptor, dotting everyone to have like everyone dotted up and like do top damage, but like not feeling like I'm really top damage. That was my role as a Warlock. And Project EPOCH is not different. I know you want it to be different, and that's okay. You want it to be like somewhat of a different meta, and I accept that. Like, right? I accept that you want it to be a different meta, but really, realistically, it is the same meta. You as a Warlock should be fearing everyone, should be slowing everyone with Curse of Exhaustion if you're playing like Affliction, or if you're like a Soul Link Warlock, which you can get it at level 35. You are the flag carrier or the damage soaker. So you take all the damage, all the mana from everyone that is actually trying to kill you, and your teammates are going to win because the team fights are going to be revolving at you soaking the damage and your teammates doing the damage. That is your goal. If you're Destruction Warlock, well, you're trying to fish Shadow Burns, kind of executes to keep on the Soul Shards, obviously, but also you have Shadow Fury at level 30, like at 30. Look, you can even get that like sooner. Between 20 and 29, you can get Shadow Fury because you have it on the same row as Ruin, and Conflag at level 35 if you really want to do damage as a Destruction Warlock. And at one point, you're going to grow into like a killing machine because you're going to have a lot of spell power, which is going to then do a lot of damage on your shuttle bolts, which you can get on backlashes, for example, or your conflags is going to hit and create for amounts that are very high, or your Shadow Fury with the stun is going to do damage but also stun everyone, which is going to help with team fights. But you cannot expect at level 19 that the Affliction Warlock is going to like literally destroy people. with like shadow bolts and dots. And now drain soul, those are like actually good damage, so you should be playing around that. But not everyone knows that. You should be playing around your strength. You should not be trying to deal damage. Like, you're not a hunter, you're not a rogue, and you are not a warrior that is level 30 with like Whirlwind Axe, for example. Even feral druids, like, they play around flag, they don't play around damage, doing damage. Although you can for sure do some good damage. Like, you see this guy does 500 mangles, and mangle is like such a good ability to like spam if you're like in front of someone, and then you do shreds whenever you can. But everyone has to play around their strength, right? And if you're playing Warlock, or if you're playing like, let's say, another class, you're playing around your utility. If you're like Elemental Shaman, yeah, you have to understand, if you're not free casting, you're not doing like top damage. But if you're free casting, you're like a monster. The same for Destruction Warlock. If you are like free casting, you're going to destroy people, and that's just how it goes. But you cannot expect like Affliction Warlock to be on the same level as a Hunter, which doesn't have the same scaling issues. Like melee classes or physical damage dealing classes, they scale with strength, obviously, or agility, depending on the class. But they don't do one-to-one damage with agility or strength. While we, casters, depending on your spell coefficient on the spell that you have, they do one-to-one damage. So let me explain. If you are a Shadow Bolt or a Shadow Bolt heavy class, or you're like a Lightning Bolt machine like Elemental Shaman, if you have one spell power, you get like, I think, 0.7 spell coefficient on Lightning Bolt, something like that. I'm not really like sure. So for example, if you have like 100 spell power, you would do 70 more damage on your Lightning Bolt. Like that scenario, you don't have it as a hunter or a rogue or a warrior. So obviously, at lower levels, when weapon damage is a thing, when stamina is a thing, when being able to survive amount of damage that is then dished out by you as a melee damage class, a melee class or physical damage class, you're going to have a great time, or a better time to like kill people, because you don't have a mana issue, or you don't have the issues that a Warlock would have or a Mage has with spell ranks. Something that, for example, having a new rank of Heroic Strike is it's not nearly the same as getting a new rank of Corruption. So that's why you need to play around your spell ranks. If at level 18 you get Drain Soul rank 2, which is what you get if you, I think, is it level 18? I think it's level 22 or 24. I don't know. If you get a rank 2 Drain Soul, the difference between rank 2 Drain Soul and rank 1 Drain Soul is like night and day. The difference between Corruption rank 1 and Corruption rank 2 is times 2 the damage. You don't have that with Heroic Strike, for example. You don't have that with Sinister Strike. So you need to understand, you don't scale the same. So casters, if you want to deal damage, you will have to wait at later levels, because at later levels, caster will be running the game. Except maybe arenas, because arenas is a bit different. So you will have to play around your CC, you'll have to play around your ability to kite and whatnot. And depending on the meta, like, casters are going to be less easy to play than melees. But in general, you're going to have a great time playing, let's say, your Warlock, for example, in arenas. Like, it's going to be good. Like, I think a SLSL Warlock with Rogue is going to be very strong, for example, like TBC is. So I don't agree with people like saying, oh, you should buff Affliction Warlock because I'm dealing no damage. Or you should be nerfing Hunters completely because they deal like ×3 the damage of everyone, which has always been the case. When I said like we need to nerf or dim down the pets, it's because like obviously pets having triple the HP of someone is not a design that is like thought about, right? At lower levels, it should scale a bit less harsh, like it scales like this instead of like going like this. So if the HP pools of the pets are like, I would say, nerfed at early levels, like buffed at a lot higher levels, I think it would be nice, because then if you have a BM hunter versus you, you could maybe focus the pet down and you'd be okay. But right now, focusing the pet down makes you go That's what happens right now, and that makes it for like having no counterplay. I am okay with, I would say, hunters doing like hunter stuff and have pets do a lot of damage. Why am I missing everything here? I'm okay with that because that's basically how it goes. Like that's literally how like hunters are, right? But like not being able to like counter hunter weakness, which is like having their pet be killed because they send their pet like numblessly, and he didn't really care about his pet. Well, that should be punished, right? But right now that's not the case. Right now you can send the pet and it will come back alive, kinda, right? That's something they should like try to nerf. But I'm not going to say like nerf its range damage. I'm not going to say nerf like the damage of pets by 50% because that's crazy. You can nerf a bit, like just dim it down. I would say nerf the stamina of a pet because then you're able to like kill it, right? That's the only thing I would suggest. But like people are like crazy when they say like my dots at level 10 to 19 does no damage while a hunter is like soloing maybe with a pet. I do you know your class? Do you know the game you're playing? You're not playing retail, right? You're not playing Shadowlands. You're not playing like even Walls of Draenor, where like your scaling was a bit less with spell power. It was more of about your level. Like this is like normal. Like this is classic. Like I have not known it differently than hunters actually dominating 10, 19, and 20, 29. Now I see like 40, 49 hunters are okay. Like I don't feel like I'm very much in danger versus them. Again, if I'm playing elemental shaman, that really sucks because of pushback, not because of like the pets doing its stuff. Not being able to cast a heal when like a pet is on me, that really sucks. That's like, again, where is the counterplay to it? But like the damage itself, like I do way more damage on a hunter right now. The hunter has way easier time to do damage. That's like certainly a thing. But overall, I'm not shocked at this level. At level 60, I will not be shocked either because I think like hunter don't scale that well in general. Like especially BM hunter boss like season 2, season 3, even in TBC, it's like okay, like okay, he does Bishop Wrath. Well, I'm going to survive that and then win or kill the pet because I have more damage now. So that's something you have to think about. Like I could talk about every single class, by the way, not only Affliction Warlock, obviously. Like Affliction Warlock is like one outlier because you have like 3 or 4 dots and you are like killing me with those dots, obviously. But like at 40-49, for example, you have a bit more spell power, but still not level 60 spell power. Still like have around 100 spell power, which is not enough for the damage to be meaningful. But like Unstable Affliction hits for a lot. So if you're playing Unstable Affliction Warlock, which is Affliction Warlock pretty much, you can hit between 150 and 250 depending on your spell power. Like it's a lot of damage coming from one dot, and then you have like 2 or 3 dots on the enemy, and that's enough to win the 1v1 with Drain Soul active, for example. You need to think like, look, I'm weak at 10, 19, but you're not weak in the meta. You're weak at doing damage. That's not your role as an Affliction Warlock. Your role is to be CC driven, to be the nuisance that you should be, which is like fearing everyone. And like if you're playing Curse of Exhaustion at 2029, you should be Curse of Exhausting everyone, like being like the slow machine that you should be on a GCD, because it's not even cost. It just says GCD and you slow someone. Same as Arcane Mages between 40-49. Like for example, now I'm super slow. It's 30%. I feel like I'm not moving, man. And like if I don't have Ghost Wolf, this is like how I move. Like it's obnoxious, and that itself is super. Like again, if you're thinking about it, you don't take an Affliction Warlock just purely for the damage, because it will like top meters, because it will like dot everyone. That's cool. But if you are like slowing everyone, then for me in my books, you're like really the nuisance of our team. Like we are not moving, we're losing. Who cares? But yeah, I think overall, they do a good job. You don't need to nerf or buff anyone right now. I think you should maybe tune down the pets a bit. Just HP pools or like defense, so you can actually like punish a hunter that sends their pet 50 yards away. Like that should be punishable. But right now, like if I want to kill a pet, I have to spend so much time, so much mana, and not even like be sure of it to be destroyed. That really like you have to like that's something you can think about, right? But that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I'm going to buy another weapon, so I have like double Wind Fury, like a double strength weapon. I'm going to test it out and see for myself if dual wield is better or not than 200. Like I felt 200 very boring, not gonna lie. But yeah, there is that. That's pretty much the video. I know that some people might be very mad about me saying those things because they play Affliction Warlock or they play Frost Mage and they say, "Oh my God, I just don't do no damage. How dare Project Epoch devs let it be? Are they Hunter mains? Are their son playing Hunter like Blizzard did with Retribution Paladin in Wrath of the Lich King?" Like, guys, think you cannot like balance the game around 10, 19, and 20, 29. Like the one thing that should be balanced is like just the HP pools of pets. Like being like 4k health when I am 3k health is maybe too exaggerated, right? But that's the only thing. That's really the only thing for me. Like the damage itself, I'm hands off. Like again, I think everyone does damage. It will pass the point. Like even Affliction Warlock, I have seen 4 dots on me like being doomed. Like I cannot do anything except if I drop combat and I try to eat. I've seen warriors do blade storms and like destroying a whole team fight. I've seen Shadow Priest being able to do a 1 Mind Blast and critting me for 800, which is a 1.5 seconds cast time, and Blackout kick me with that. Not kick me, but Blackout stun me. I've seen a Retribution Paladin with Wind Fury, obviously, like one-shotting someone because he, like, I don't know what he did. Maybe he twisted. I don't know if you can still twist on this server. I think you can, but I'm not sure. Like, he destroyed someone like one-tapped, literally. I've seen Enhancement Shaman one-tap people. I have seen Elemental Shaman, which I was, before I'm trying to make a video about Enhancement Shaman. I did one-taps as well, even though like I am the one complaining about pushback, which I think is still a thing for Elemental Shaman. That should be baseline. Literally, you give 1 pushback talent, which is great. Like I think that's like great. Like, don't get me wrong. You get pushback at your 6th set, which is 50% chance to avoid interruption on Lightning Bolt, and then you put your totem, you would have 100%. But like that should be baseline in my opinion, or you should have it on the 2 set or have it on like somewhere so you can actually have it before while leveling. Because I think it's too important. You don't need to have 100%, but 70% is acceptable because a lot of classes have that. But that would help. But like I think every single class has like something that's good going on right now. Just need to like think about and like be realistic, right? That's the only thing I think matters. But there is that. Again, thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate you. I wish you luck if you're a caster. The end of the tunnel is near. Obviously, if you're playing Balance Rate, I'm very sorry. That's just TBC. TBC, Balance Rate in arenas, no bueno. In PGs, you can have fun, most likely, because you can be like not targeted and have a Starfire drop on someone's face and like have the biggest crit ever. But like that's not going to happen every single time, and if I see a balance rate, I'm going to go on it because I know left alone it's going to be a carnage. Elemental Shaman the same, pushback very hard, but you have your time in the sun, which is like being able to do elemental mastery crits. It's always going to be fun. But overall, like try to play around your strength. And if someone in the video says like you're an Enhancement Shaman, how do you know? I play Elemental Shaman all the time. I'm just trying out Enhancement Shaman. Like I don't even have the PvP set yet. Like for Enhancement Shaman, like I only have the Elemental Shaman one. Which, to be fair, I'm having way more fun as Elemental Shaman than Enhancement Shaman. That's for a separate video. But like, yeah. Again, don't try to do ad hominems about Enhancement Shaman, which for me is not like the thing that is important to me. So like this is not my spec. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.